Hey everybody, MS Farzan here, and welcome back to this video series on how to make a 2D multiplayer tabletop card game using Unity and Mirror. In this episode, we're going to look at how to use ParrelSync to manage multiple running builds of the same game. As you've noticed, if you've been watching along with this series, what we've been doing is for every time we want to test out our networking, we've been, well, we can watch it right now if you're not bored of it. We've been using our editor as one client and the host, the server as well. And then we've been hitting Control B to build the client, a second client for us to use so that we can test the networking functionality. This, as you can see, is quite time consuming because I'm waiting for the game to build every time that I make any sort of change to the game. And then once it builds, I'm going to Alt-Tab between the two to kind of simulate what it would look like to have multiple people playing the game. So on my scene, I hit play in the editor, and as the host, meaning the server plus, let's say, client A, I then navigate over to this built version of the game, and with you as client B, then we're able to play the game, draw cards, and Bob's your uncle. Yeah, working great. So, I mean, that works, and it certainly works for a 2-player game. But if you have 3 or 4 players, it's just going to get so onerous managing all of these builds. And so I'm just going to Alt-4 out of this and show you a pretty handy tool that was recommended to me. It's called ParrelSync. And this is the GitHub profile for ParrelSync. It just shows that what it does, it allows you to run in tandem all of these, a number of different client builds. And the way it does this is it creates clones of your project and keeps them in sync on the back end when you make changes, which is super, super cool. I don't know, I wouldn't be able to tell you how resource intensive it is it might be on your computer. I'm not really certain, but certainly on my computer, it's been just fine. So you'll want to navigate to this URL, which I'll put in the description of this video, and then go ahead and come down to the installation area of the Git repository. Find the UPM package and just copy. I mean, you could follow the installation instructions, however you like. But what I like to do is copy the UPM package to your clipboard. Go into Unity. Find the I'm using Unity 2020.2.6F1, and with that comes this. The asset store is not really integrated the same anymore. But in any case, I'll go to Window Package Manager, and then here are all the packages that I have available to me through the asset store because I've set it to packages my assets. But I don't need to deal with that just now. I need to click on the plus button up here, and I'll go to Add Package from Git URL, paste that here, add it. Okay, it's compiling. You can see that it's getting set up. And ParrelSync is it's pretty painless to use, at least for our use case. It's going to be pretty simple. Once you set it up and running, you can pretty much set it and forget it. At least that's been my experience so far. So we'll see. And survey says, yeah. So now we see that it's added a ParrelSync menu up here at the top. We can close our package manager. And what do we want to go to is the clones manager. And it says no project clones found. Create a new one. Thank you for the helpful advice. We'll just say create new clone. And what it's going to do, it's going to create a clone of my entire project. And that's what ParrelSync is going to watch. ParrelSync is going to watch my current project, the one that I'm working in, and make any changes or updates necessary to the clone project so that both projects will be in sync, which is pretty cool. It just, things take time in development. So better get used to it, I guess. I feel like I need to learn a bunch of jokes to talk during this, during like compile time or clone time, or you'll notice too when you are, this will add just like a tiny bit of time to your development cycles, because when you'll be saving your scripts or changing things in your code, you'll notice that there is a tiny bit of lag in the background as ParrelSync updates everything. But for me, it's really worth the wait, and it's going to save you time anyway from not having to build your application every time. Okay, so I see that my clone 0 has a project path. It provides an argument that it's a client. Don't really have to do anything. You could add new clones, additional clones if you have multiple players. I really just have 2 players in this card game. So I'm going to click on Open in New Editor, and it will open the project. We'll have to wait for it to do everything that it needs to. And meanwhile, in here, I can just close this up. Well, this is opening a new project. And your workflow, honestly, isn't going to change all that much in terms of like your development process. What you're going to find is that now that you don't have to build your game every time, if you have a couple monitors like I do, even if you don't, you'll be able to have multiple windows open with both of your game scenes, and that'll just be that much more helpful. Certainly, if you have 2 monitors, I would just keep the clone up on the other monitor and then navigate over to it. But you'll see that this is the clone that it's populated for us. Disabling directory monitor for current editor session. Don't worry about any of this stuff. Just know that this is the clone, and it says that up here at the top of your screen. And just don't touch it. Just don't mess with it. We'll go back to our working scene, pretend like we made some changes or whatever, hit play, and then in fact, let's go to maximize on play so that you can see all the action here. We can do that in our clone scene. I know I just told you not to mess with this, but I'm not messing with the code here. I'm just telling it to maximize on play. Okay, this is my regular scene. Gonna hit play. And then go to my other scene, my clone scene, hit play. And my first scene will be the host. The second scene will be the client. Draw cards, drag and drop, and we have the same functionality here. We'll see a little bit of pop-up, and like I said, a little bit of lag, because when you make changes to anything, the ParrelSync will be watching it for you. But in effect, we have 2 working builds of the game without having to build the game every time. And ParrelSync handles it all for us. And importantly, if you have more than 2 players, this is probably the way that you want to go. So I hope this has been helpful for you. If it has, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel for more. You can also follow me on Twitter and check out my games and books at nightpathpub.com, or just follow the link in the description for this video. And like I said, I'll link the GitHub repository to ParrelSync as well in the description. And we'll see you soon.